Go momentarily over.
There it is. Well, you never know when you go fishing what you're going to catch next. Hello, rail friends. Y'all give me a minute and I'll be right back.
CT dispatch transferring over. Now they calling over. Alright, copy. Signal indication spell. Once the signal time in Jersey, you guys will have okay coming over. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Trackside live tonight.
Milepost 2.0, track 2. Oh.
As y'all know, when the scanner starts, I stop. Sometimes that can be a challenge. Amber on the top. Coming up the Atlanta North.
Yes, I will. Yeah, 600 something, I think, or so. It's 19. All right, thank you. Oh, you'll be there for a little while. Oh. Thank you.
There we go. Highball green.
Environmental Park. Norfolk Southern, mile 2303. Track, no defects. DP's at 7255. Have them give me a call, guys. Alright. Mechanical calling C307 over. Dispatcher saying that thinking they might be having some issues with loading or something like that, over. Yeah, copy that. I'm gonna pull up here, but it's not letting me connect to a service issue or something, but which is on that remote menu, DP it, normalize it, and after that we can full service and load it come back in. But
Well, hello, rail friends. Thanks for coming out trackside tonight with Casey and I. Andy's on his way, and we want to say a special, if Lucas is on, a special thank you to Lucas tonight. For several hours ago, he gave me a heads up that the 911 NS Training Train was headed our way. He'd come off the Memphis West End, so we took off to look for him. Couldn't find him at 23rd, couldn't find him there at the soccer fields. Supposedly he changed crews at Webb, and boom, here he was. And we never found him. We checked the yard end to end. We almost stayed down at the south end, but there was just so many trains, nothing moving. There was just nothing we could film, although it was just full of trains tonight, but nothing in front of us open that we could catch. So headed to the water. We headed to Bootleggers, told Andy we were going there. And then we decided we'd get a much better shot if he did come on and he didn't tie down, which is where we kind of thought was happening. We'd have a much better shot to catch him here. And it worked out. It's all about that fishing, like Crash says. You get in the boat, you get all the stuff, you know the fish are under you, you just have no idea what you're going to pull up next. What a great catch. So again, a special thanks to Lucas. Well, that was train 3 already, and we're not really here for a long time tonight, but we are always here for a good time, and so far we are off on that right now. And we got an amber, so I'm going to talk quick. Our first train, westbound 1023 and 1821 at the end. So solo up front, DPU at the back, and then train 2, NS911 Training Train, up the Knoxville West End. Y'all get ready. You'll see him in Sweetwater. And after that, I believe he is headed to Maryland. Now, just past us, and we're going to switch back to the signals here in just a moment after we chase all these mosquitoes, but just past us, just now, man, Tony yelled it out first, I think, front door, wide open. So I'm guessing he had no AC, and he decided he was going to make some. So what do you call that? 1 in 50. One door open and 50 miles an hour. Off we go. He wasn't that fast, but it sounded good. Probably a 1 in 30. One door open, 30 miles an hour. And then we got the horns from him. And then he opened his window and we got an engineer wave. So, door open, a pair of Dash 9s, an ES44 AC in the middle of those two up front as he rolled on past us. And like I said, front door wide open. So we don't see that every night here. So that was just a catch all around. Salute, wave, door open, Dash 9s. And right behind him, we got Amber. So we're going to switch over here in just a moment. Again, everybody, thanks for being with us. If it is your first time, we are live. We are trackside. What you see is 3 to 6 seconds generally after me. We are broadcasting off the MiFi tonight. Should have a pretty good signal. No clouds for a change. It doesn't look like we're going to get rained out tonight. So we should have good signal going out. We're here at the 1910 Water Tower. Knoxville West End to your right. Atlanta North District to your left. They come together right behind us at the 227. And at that point, it becomes the Knoxville West End as it rolls on into Chattanooga. And either they will go up the C&O and TP or to the Debucks Yard or on the pass-through. So that brings you all up to date. Hello, Texas. I'll tell you what, some of those videos you have sent recently, were incredible. Sorry I haven't had a chance to answer much. Work on job number 1 has been non-stop, but job number 1 makes job number 2 possible, including the payments on production 6 right behind you and all the equipment. And real quick, last night's water issue there by the Quick Trip, that new gas station. There, I see there's a high rail crane or a high rail bucket. See, there's a semi. See, there's quite a bit of equipment sitting down at Bootleggers. Don't know if it's active right now. Don't know the status on that. So if anybody does have updates, let us know. But right now, our amber has moved to green, and our green has a horn. Train 4. There's our 1910 water tower. There's where the Ottawa Depot used to be. And here's where our next train's coming. We are working out of the back of production 6. Here comes Andy. He's just in time for the next train. Let's get ready here. And it is just a beautiful evening. The only problem we got with tonight is skeeters. Big ones. Big, hungry skeeters. And lots of them.
What? Did you take a picture? No. Did you write down? No, like that. Like, as soon as you heard the train horn, that's when I had it. Oh no. Yeah. Okay. I already got him. Yeah, but I had to go back and.
We are cooking with grease tonight. Another Dash 9 on our westbound train headed on in towards Chattanooga. Whoa! Up front on that, 9871, our Dash 9 leading, and 4311, our AC 44C6M. On the way, past Bootleggers, headed towards Chattanooga or headed towards Cincinnati. Depends if he goes right or he goes left. Did you all see the green cat on there? That was so cool. There was a green cat and then there was another guy that was some strange color. Oh my goodness. What a great train. All that art on all those empty rail cars. Woo! Not much revenue production there, but not uncommon. 3 to the north. Actually, it'd be 3 to the west. Not uncommon for them to run 3 back to back and then let the other traffic go. Now, last night we had the washout or the problem or whatever occurred. Obviously had something to do with water because we had massive amount of rain. We went down to the bridge on Old Lee Highway there, where they cut the road, and we could see down to where the parking lot of the QT, the new QT there at exit 9, there was just massive amounts of muddy water running still. When we went down there, Crash was with us, Andy was with us. There was a list of folks there that stopped. And like I said, behind us over at Bootleggers, there's a high rail bucket truck. What'd I tell you? 3 that way, 1 this way. Let's go, guys. Andy and I are going to set up howitzers for the mosquitoes tonight. Last night when I got home, I couldn't tell what color my leg was from all the mosquito bites. I thought I was going to be like Mary Poppins and take off and fly there at one point. There were so many of them. But I got smart tonight. I wore jeans. I decided I'm going to teach them. I'll wear jeans and I'll just sweat to death. But ain't nobody going to bite those legs tonight. No, not tonight. All right. That was number 5, and he is now rolling south on the Atlanta North District line. 75-69 our leader, and 10:38 up front. And ES44 DC leading that. Man, have we been cleaning house on those -9s. Won't be long until you will not see those anymore, because they're all at that point to be rebuilt. And then there'll be a new number. If anybody knows any information on last night's deal on the track at point throughout the night, I mean, we had massive rains yesterday. And if anybody has any updates, please share them. If anybody's trackside, north, south, east, west of us, don't be bashful. If anybody's new, put your hand up. Thanks for all the likes so far. And whatever it is that you see on that train that excites you, chime in, point it out. Somebody else may have missed it. They want to see it too. Right now, looks like we have 4 regs. We got 2 over on that side, Andy. Andy's hanging out. He's checking. Because of the way the angle of the tracks come in, this is a major traffic point for NS.
Yeah, they're both red.
We got 2 regs to the right, 2 regs to the left. Andy's going to have to get that grass skirt on that Don wears for us to do that next train dance. Mama Bear, working on that sunset. We will be live until 8:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight. Tomorrow morning is sail day for job number 1. And that's the day of the week that requires Mike to get up at 6 in the morning. Actually, the ordeal starts about 5:50 in the morning. Mike doesn't get up because Mike just is not a morning person. The dog immediately is up because we have to pay a toll when we get up to get out of the bed. 2 treats. And let me tell you, she can count and she has no patience. We're up, she wants her toll paid, and there's no negotiation. If we fail to pay the toll, she's a skipper key, she's spoiled, she's 16, and she can count to 2. Trust me. So, we're going to be here till 8:30 tonight. Tomorrow is Mrs. S's birthday. So, we're going to have to go live early so we get a little time in together. Unless Lucas or someone says, hey, Mike, you and Andy need to run here, there, or yonder. Or we need Casey to do something in the studio. We are going to probably go over to the dam, the Chickamauga Dam. Hope that there are less gnats and less mosquitoes there, which I doubt because that's the home of the 100 million little white things when we were over there last. And catch some of the raging water coming through the Chickamauga Dam. I'm going to guess that the spillways are probably all open to some extent. We'll spend some time on the CNO and TP, and then we have to take Mrs. S, not have to, going to, take Mrs. S, who's the best wife on the planet, out for a birthday dinner. So, that brings you up. Anybody new, any questions, ask away. Don't be bashful. And we're going to try that speed test tonight. Last time I did this, we were in Bridgeport. We failed miserably. But then, my 2 guests that were with me said, whoa, this is Bridgeport. There is no cell service. We were running off a satellite. So, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and do a countdown, and this is how fast what you see here happens and you see there. And bear in mind, it has to go from the recording device to the transmission unit. From the transmission unit up into wherever it goes, and it ends up at YouTube. YouTube does YouTube things with it, and then they send it back up into the air to whatever you're watching on. So, one, two, three, 4, 5, there I am. 5 seconds, depending if I counted fast enough or slow enough. So if Andy pushes me, you'll see it 5 seconds after it happens. So back to the tracks, back to you guys, scanner's on. And as you can tell, it's starting to get a little bit darker because we can now see our signal bridge behind us. Oh, Tony just sent me an electrical impulse through my phone because I failed to remind you. I'm sorry, Tony, I won't do it again. But I felt that. Ouch. And today is May 14th, 2025. And you go, why do I tell you that all the time? Because so many people watch this later in the evening or later next week or whenever. Just like the 911 train. We've got hours and hours of footage on that where we were filming the training live down in, where were we? Lula, Georgia. We spent hours with that train, filming them going through live as the training was going on, the fire department's coming and going. That is an incredible program. And a special thanks to NS for that. Just think about, just like what happened Friday night with the Seaboard Airline, with Heritage Locomotive CSXT 1900 fire in the middle of nowhere. And the fire department rolled out, and I can't remember what it was, but it was just north of Coleman. If you go to Rail Moments, you'll see pictures from the scene where 1900 was on fire, and the second locomotive also experienced a problem. So it was a tough night north of Coleman. So I think that brings me up to date, other than May 17th. Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Less than 72 hours from now, we are all going to hang out in Cowan, Tennessee. For those of you that are subscribers and you're there, I have special shirts made for y'all. And I have a design that I came up with, and then it was perfected. Because in art class, the best I could get was to stick figures. After stick figures, it was all over. Mechanical drawing, no problem. I could get that whole 3D thing down pat, but all the rest, But anyhow, special shirts while sizes last and while quantities last. So make sure y'all are, and don't forget, Central Standard Time, Cowan Railroad Museum. If you've never been there, check out the podcast that Casey did with Brian about the Cowan Railroad Museum. It is privately owned. It is beautiful. It is historic. And boy, there is a massive spot for filming. So make plans to be there. Yes, Tony, I know you're going to be late. And yes, I know we're going to the Mexican restaurant. I read that message, so I'm all good on that. So food, airplane flying. Andy and Tony are probably going to fly that day. Y'all hope for the best of weather. And we're going to go back trackside. Let's see if we can catch for Mama Bear's sunset. And we are here 13 more minutes. Going to go a little early tonight. First of all, I got to pick up dinner on the way home and go to bed early. Because like I said, there's just, you don't even want to hear. It's just an ugly version when I have to get up at 6 in the morning. I have to go pick up donuts for everybody. And that's something I love to do. I just struggle. So I don't want to be late. So early bed tonight. Back to the track for now. Mama Bear Sunset, QC 1 and 2 are on the job. Oh, and I tell you what, let's see if I can show you these from last night. Y'all hang on. It was so dark we couldn't do this last night. If y'all weren't with us last night, these are shocks from the live that Kid Outdoor isolated. There is the Lehigh Valley leading that train into the south end of the debunk's yard while he was still connected. So if you've not seen last night's video, we were with the Lehigh Valley for, I don't know, maybe an hour. Lots of incredible pictures. And then it was all done. Once that train is broke down, the DPU's been pulled and isolated. That is him waiting to go into the fuel rack. There is a derail right there, and you cannot go past without permission. If you fail to get permission, exactly what it says will happen. You will derail, and then you may have a career problem. And then we ended up out here, and for those of you that had a problem, I'm going to guess, finding it last night, I'm going to guess once we do a third live, because first of all, the bird cam was going while we did our first one, and then our first one, and then a restart of a third makes it a little bit tougher to find. Apparently, that's kind of, I think, the first time we've done that. But for those of you who had a problem, you can go back and look. And Andy didn't want to go home last night, so he kept saying, Mike, we got to stay longer, get the lights out, what have you. So here we are, rail fanning in the dark. And again, this is Kid Outdoor QC1, where he has isolated pictures from last night's live. Let's see if it's better this way. Oh, there it is. That's better. My bad. My old age, I can't hold it still, but that is from our second live last night. We did have lights up, just some of the sets. We didn't put the whole thing up. Boy, did I get home late, and whoo! When this morning came, the alarm rang, and the dog wanted their toll, or her toll, and Mrs. S says, you gotta get up, it's time for work. We won't go into the details. Anyhow, there's Mama Bear's sunset. Thanks for being with us, y'all. Anybody got questions, ask away. We've got two pilots on tonight. Andy to my right, and Tony about 50 miles in front of me on the Cumberland Plateau. There's Mama Bear's sunset as the day's kind of starting to wind down. Here at this incredibly historic spot where once upon a time, under the cover of darkness, the bootlegging business thrived here. I think it was Crash the other night said, or maybe it was Green Bean, I forget who, again, I'm old, and that's what happens. Old people forget, so y'all have to forgive me, but there'd be a rock. You'd put your cash under the rock, and then when you came back, you'd have a bottle there with contents. And then you were happy, the person that had the cash was happy, everybody went away. And they had their day, kept the economy going, and the revenuers chasing them. So, sunset time for y'all. We've got another 8 minutes. I know, Tony. Be nice, okay? Be very nice, Tony. or your meal will consist of tacos without contents, okay? And we have laid the trains in tonight. 1 hour and 6 minutes into the night, 5 trains, one of which was the 911 training train. Got my canes there. Tongue got stuck. Must be one of the mosquitoes biting me. Have a tailgate if you want.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I forgot my chair. I always forget my chair.
You can use mine if you want.
No, that's all right. You're almost done.
Yeah, I gotta pick up too. Not. Not one part of it.
Yeah.
Muffins anymore. Well, our semi still parked down there. You want to do the honors?
Or vertically or
Oh,
one foot.
Everybody's right. We got horn coming from the sunset. Clear Ottawa. Looks like we're going to have loaded Walmart containers. Everything you want for Christmas on that train. Dice the city to fog for mosquitoes. Let's get the lawn and garden guys. Cut this down over here. Had it all nice and down, but gosh, it's growing so quick.
Get some pants out there to get them started. guys on trying to move.
I gotta tell you a true story about that train. As y'all hear him whistling into the background. After he leaves us, he finishes his pass through Ottawa, and then stand by, discombobulation of the telephone system here, y'all. I got all excited thinking about Christmas and all the stuff that could be in those containers, and I canceled you off the phone. And I don't want to get in trouble with Q1 and Q2, because I'll come up and I'll get to yakking, and if I forget to check ahead of time, I get all off the screen and all you see is the left earlobe, and then I try and rewatch all my videos within a week just to pick up on things that we did wrong, did right, whatever. Some of the comments, if somebody has ideas or if I missed something, whatever. So that train, and again, a special thanks to Lucas tonight. Well, I'm systematically searching the debug's yard, which is over 5 miles long, looking for the 911 train. Technology's having its issues tonight, but monitor's back up, so we're good. Jesse is my mentor on how to find a train, and he taught me the whole system, how to systematically break down over 5 miles of the debug's yard into pieces to find a train. So once Lucas said, hey, 911 train is cleared off of Memphis on the east end, I started, as soon as I got done with job one, started going down that way, started looking for him. Couldn't find him anywhere. Here, there, over the overpass, through this road, that road, what have you. Places I have no idea what the name of the roads are. I just know this is the path and how to do it. If that doesn't work, then repeat and come back. And during that process, that train was sitting right in front of the UTC soccer fields. He went past there and he stopped right there at Webb for, I'm going to guess, a crew change. So 3767, 4369, leading that container train for BNSF, headed on down to Dalton, but we saw him in the yard, I don't know, it's 8:30, well over 2 hours ago, and the yard from here is 15 miles. About 15 miles, depends on how many wrong turns you take. And for those of you familiar with Coffey's Cliff, the Wilcox Bridge now has signs up with these great big orange arrows with a weight limit. So, do not drive your semi there to go watch trains, because you might have a problem. So I'm going to go back to the monitor. Let's see who's on. We're going to start our closing. Mama Bear, your orange sunset's kind of gone. But we got a great big puffy cloud. But pretty much we are clear skies tonight. We don't even have a plane up here that we can chase, which I love doing from this spot. A railfan's dream right there. A beautiful sunset, a peaceful day, an incredible day. Another day's pay in the bank, and continued friendship with all the railfans that we all know. And that makes for a great day. Now, Jesse, we're gonna have to get the weed eater out. Look how tall these things are getting already. Ruins those shocks. Because I highly doubt the city of Ottawa is gonna come beautify our train watching spot. Anything's possible, but I'm not holding my breath. Nothing against the city of Ottawa. I just don't think this is on their priority list, especially since Collegsdale didn't erect one of those fancy, huge birdhouses that we see on Ottawa Ringgold Road. So let's see who's all on the monitor, and then we are going to wrap her up. And I'm leaving the mosquitoes to whoever comes next. Hey, Tara. What have you caught today? You always have something up there in the S-curve, one blinking light town to the northeast of us. What have you seen today? I hope Gavin's doing well. And Tara caught 18W. Well, hello, Robert. You got your traveling bag all packed for Saturday? Everybody, make sure you pack your bag. We're all gonna go hang out with Brian, eat Mexican food, have a good time, film trains, and watch Tony and Andy fly. Tony's gonna get up on the building, he's gonna put his wings on, and he's gonna jump. Now, he's a super pilot. He did our last get together. He could have taken the apple right off the top of my head. All right, everybody. From Andy and I, and Casey back in the studio, y'all have a great night, and we will see you trackside tomorrow, probably at the Chickamauga Dam, overlooking the Tennessee River and the raging water that's probably rolling underneath 10 Briggs. See y'all tomorrow, trackside.